You might be wondering how to keep straight all the different family types and why the idea of a single typical family keeps appearing in UPSC notes and questions. And by the end of this video, you will be completely clear about this topic. Think of family diversity as a spectrum, not a single picture on a cereal packet. And we will unpack the spectrum step by step. Today we will visualize the cereal packet image, trace key historical and demographic shifts, learn the Rappaport's dimensions of diversity, and touch on technology and policy implications. And towards the end, we will understand a key idea that most UPSC aspirants miss about continuity alongside change. Start with the cereal packet image. A smiling married couple, 1 or 2 children, the husband as breadwinner and the wife as homemaker, used in adverts as if it were universal. This ideal is useful as a contrast because it hides the real variety of household forms in modern societies. Imagine opening different cereal boxes and finding different family pictures inside each one. That is what sociologists found when they looked more closely. Early sociology sometimes assumed a single dominant family type for an era. But empirical work shows multiple coexisting forms at any time. Robert and Rona Rappaport were important here. They argued diversity is best described across linked dimensions rather than a single family model. Their work and later demographic studies showed that the married couple with dependent children and single breadwinner household became a minority in late 20th century Britain. For example, in Britain, the share of married couples with children fell from around 38% in 1961 to about 23% by 1998. Single-person households and single-parent families rose substantially in the same period. So household composition was shifting visibly. The Rappaports proposed several types of diversity to make sense of these changes. Think of each type as a lens for looking at family life. Organizational diversity looks at structure and who lives together. Nuclear, extended, single parent, or reconstituted households after remarriage. Cultural diversity focuses on norms and practices across ethnic, religious, or cultural groups, which shape family roles and expectations. Social class differences affect parenting styles, resources, and life chances, producing distinct family experiences within the same society. Regional diversity shows how geography matters. Rural kinship networks look different from urban nuclear households with mobile labor. Cohabitation and the recognition of same-sex households add further variety to what counts as a family today. To visualize this, picture a set of overlapping circles. Household structure, culture, class, region, and life course events like marriage, divorce, or remarriage. New reproductive technologies expanded the toolkit for family formation. IVF, gamete donation, and surrogacy made biological parenthood possible in new ways. Louise Brown's birth by IVF in 1978 is a turning point because it showed conception could be assisted outside the body and then implanted, widening who could form families. Surrogacy and donor conception complicate everyday kinship categories: mother, grandmother, genetic parent, and create legal and social questions about parenthood. These technologies matter for UPSC because questions on family, law, and society often probe how social change intersects with technology and policy. Globally, many advanced industrial societies show similar trends: rising cohabitation, later marriages, lower fertility, and more births outside marriage. Yet, national differences persist because welfare regimes, religion, and policy influence how families adapt. So, convergence and divergence go together. Single parenthood increased markedly in several countries. In Britain, the proportion of children living in single-parent households rose sharply between the 1970s and 1990s. Ethnicity and migration add layers. Immigrant families often adapt to host country norms while preserving key practices, which produces internal diversity across generations. Some scholars stress continuity. Robert Chester used the term neo-conventional family to describe a household where marriage and parenthood remain central but wives also work. The neo-conventional family highlights adaptation rather than total replacement. Many people marry and raise children, but the domestic division of labor changes. So, the balanced view for UPSC answers is to recognize both continuity and change and to explain why both matter for social policy and law. Exam insight. This concept is very important for your exams because questions often ask for evaluation. You must weigh evidence for diversity against arguments for continuity. Mention specific examples and data in your answers, like the shifting percentages of household types in Britain to show empirical grounding and analytical depth. Now, let us rehearse a short, clear explanation you can use in an answer or interview. Family life is plural, shaped by labor markets, gender relations, migration, and technology. Add a sentence evaluating continuity. Despite diversification, many core institutions, like marriage, remain significant for most people, creating the neo-conventional pattern. Use an analogy in your answer. Families are like a toolbox, where old tools remain useful, new tools appear, and people choose different combinations depending on context. Quick recap. The cereal packet is an idealized stereotype. Evidence shows rising diversity. The Rappaports give useful analytical dimensions, and technologies accelerated new forms. Remember the exam tip. Balance description with analysis and give examples across countries or historical periods when asked to explain family change. Keep your answers concise, use data where possible, and always link social changes to policy and legal implications to score higher in UPSC responses. You are doing the right thing by clarifying these ideas now. Mastering the balance between diversity and continuity is a high-yield move in papers and interviews. If you want, you can revise this script by turning each short point into a bullet for quick recall before the exam. For deeper study, map a few country examples, note key dates like Louise Brown 1978, and summarize the Rappaport's dimensions in one paragraph for quick revision. Final takeaway. Family life in modern industrial societies is best described as diverse and dynamic, with important strands of continuity woven through change. Keep practicing framing balanced answers, and you will find it easier to handle mixed evidence questions in UPSC Mains and interviews. Thanks for listening. If you liked this clear, exam-focused walkthrough, continue your preparation with EduRev for concise notes, quizzes, and practice questions tailored to UPSC. Stay curious. Keep connecting evidence to arguments and drop back for more short, focused lessons that make complex sociology exam ready.